Break all of this down and a whole lot more. Let's welcome an adjunct professor at Montclair State University, Dan Geltrude. Dan, okay, so this report coming just after we saw the producer price index rise to its highest point in a year. Well, any drop in inflation is a good sign, even if it's just a little bit. I'm not sure how reassuring this is to the Fed as they weigh whether or not to cut interest rates. I mean, Dan, do you think we'll continue to see the rate drop?
I don't think so. I think where the Fed is here is they should leave things alone for right now. Inflation has been incredibly sticky, and I think everyone is suffering from inflation fatigue at this point. So unless we see something significant happen up or down, I think the Fed is going to stay pat for right now, and let's see how the free market works things through.
Yeah, definitely. Seth Denson, we had him on yesterday. He was a little more positive than he has been lately, but again, this is a wait and see game. Let's talk a little Target. We haven't talked about them in a while. So they're announcing it will not roll out its Pride Month collection in all of its stores. So the department store is saying it made the decision after, of course, last year's backlash from conservatives. The retailer will offer its Pride merchandise online and then in only select stores, depending on that sale history. Dan, do you think other businesses will take note this Pride Month next month?
Let me start with this, Alex. Why is it that every month has to be named as some type of celebration? We only have 12 months, so do we start adding months to recognize more groups? I don't know. That aside, this is what it comes down to. Know your customers. Look, for certain areas or industries, these types of promotions may work. But when we looked at the disaster that Bud Light was, obviously they didn't know their customers. So I think that any company out there, or any store, has to look at these types of things with great circumspect because they have to understand what their people want. Know your customers.
Yeah, definitely. We saw, of course, last summer a lot of that Pride merchandise in the kids aisle, which I think that's what people took offense to. Netflix reporting nearly 40 million people have subscribed to its cheaper ad tier platform, increasing its base by a whopping 800% from just a year ago. The subscription tier, which is $3 cheaper per month, makes up 40% of new signups in countries that offer it. Though the streaming service currently is partnered with Microsoft, it does plan on releasing its own advertising technology platform by 2025. Dan, do you expect this trend to continue?
Yeah, I do. What I've noticed is where going some years back, the water cooler talk in the office may have revolved around sports and those types of things. But now it seems everybody's talking about this series or that series on Netflix. So streaming is absolutely going to continue to grow, in my opinion. I personally can't stand ads. But if it makes things more affordable, then that's going to allow this market to continue to grow. So, yes, I think there's still a very, very bright future for streaming and specifically Netflix.
Yeah, Dan, actually, I want to get your reaction to this news that I believe came out this week. So Comcast will be bundling Netflix, Peacock, and Apple TV Plus in one big streaming bundle. We saw Hulu and Disney Plus do the same thing. They say it is to prevent subscription fatigue. What's your opinion on these streaming services kind of now coming together? Because we know there's millions of them out there at this point.
Well, I think it's a good move by those companies because people simply want streaming. So the fact that you could start bundling, there's going to be some benefit there. And I think it also makes things easier for the customer to say, oh, this is a group of streaming services that I'd like, so I'm going to purchase this package. I think it's a good business move.
I completely agree. There's just too many, and you're paying for each individual one every single month. I think it's a great idea. Dan Geltrude, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It is always a pleasure to have you on.
Thanks, Alex.
All right, everyone.